our studio audience.
What's going on? Live BS show. We'll get 30 seconds to let people have a chance to come on here while we're listening to Jackson's music. If you want to make comments, go to the Century 21 Right Realty Facebook page and we'll answer comments from there. Heather's going to answer them. All right.
Sorry.
Heather's in front of the camera.
My big head.
All right. Here we go. Brad Fowler, B, Sean Wright, S, BS Show, Century 21 Right Realty. We have a special guest today. Introduce him, Brad.
Sean Kaplan,
Hey guys, how's it going?
father, lender,
Husband?
philanthropist, husband, all the above, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in today, man.
Absolutely.
It's good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
being here.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Always.
Been hearing about this BS show thing.
So today it's BSS.
Yeah.
Monday it was BB. So
Yeah.
we're going through the whole alphabet.
So I'll skip it. So taking the week off in Vegas, I took 2 BS shows off, the Friday and the Monday. So I got to get back in the swing of doing this BS show. You may have to help me a little bit, Brad.
All right. We'll look at the camera.
You gotta do more BSing.
I got to do more BS.
What do you do with your hands?
Yeah, what you do with your hands, I don't know. We'll go for this. NCAA tournament, it looks like it's going to be straight chalk. 4 number 1 seeds look like they're going to go to the Final Four. Tennessee got robbed on a terrible call, but you can't put yourself down 18 points in the second half and then complain about one call.
Yeah.
Because that's not how it works. Shoot free throws better. Don't have 3 of your star players foul out. You probably win, so don't use excuses. Everybody's got one. They all stink.
Yep.
Like armpits.
Yeah, like armpits.
stink.
They all stink.
Everybody's got them.
So, I'm as big a Tennessee fan as everybody, but you can't just say one call made a game. You're playing for 40 minutes, and in this case, 45 minutes. There was a lot of other opportunities to win that football game, just like that one fumble, Brad, didn't make that game.
You talking about New England and Raiders?
Yeah.
The AFC team? Oh, yeah, it was a fumble.
You
for
know.
sure.
Still talking about the tuck
Oh,
rule?
what was
Yeah,
it?
Or the deflated balls?
13
He's
years
talking
ago?
about Tuck rule.
Yeah, the tuck rule.
He's
the
still
Raiders,
bitter.
the one that kept the Raiders out of the Super Bowl.
By the way, I watched the video again yesterday. I can never watch it enough of that entire room full of those Atlanta Falcons fans that were watching the last overtime, right? And then they show the room, and
I'm still in counseling over that.
All right, yeah. So we got Raiders, Patriots, and Falcons. Yeah.
That's right.
So.
No Cardinals.
And a Cardinals
And a
fan.
Cardinal fan. I remember. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, speaking of the Patriots, y'all lost a big integral part this week.
Last week.
Gronk, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Are you still crying over that?
Well, I mean, he's just cool. He's a cool guy. I think he's a good role model. He's fun. He works hard. The guy puts every ounce of his heart on the line, like when he goes after the ball and stuff. But we've been without him so
he
much
gets
that,
hurt
like
all
in
the
New
time.
England, like all the fans are like, "Well, we've dealt without him, for the last 4 years." So they'll replace it.
Oh, yeah.
And
they knew it was probably coming.
we
You know,
all should go on the
Belichick's
Gronk
prepared.
cruise.
I would go on the Gronk cruise.
He's joining WWE now too.
There you go.
I mean, because that's
As
a
if he
lot
didn't
more
have
safe
enough
for your
fans.
body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
All right, so we'll go from the Gronk to Johnny Football. What a transition.
Johnny Football, from one extreme to the next.
So one extreme to the next.
Right.
Johnny Football signs the Memphis Express out of the AAF just in time for you to find out that the AAF is about to go belly up. So was the sign of Johnny Football getting signed by the AAF more of a let's sign a big name, try to save the league, or is it we legitimately wanted to sign this guy and give him another chance because he's been blackballed everywhere else?
Why is this train wreck still even on people's radar?
That's the question.
Like, who is this guy?
How do you get banned out of an entire league? I understand
That's
getting
rough.
just
That's
released from a
messing up
team,
bad.
but when an entire league says, you know what, you're out, you can't play for any of our teams.
I mean, I know, like, I get it. Like, they're professional athletes, and there are very few of them. But there's like 7 billion people on the planet. Like,
how does this guy
are there
keep
some
getting
other
chances?
quarterbacks like we
Yeah.
could like go find?
Surely, yeah,
Yeah.
surely.
I mean,
His girlfriend, or wife or girlfriend is divorcing him too, like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Because of infidelity. I was like surprised to imagine that Johnny
Yeah, right.
Manziel.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's a shame.
I mean, he's
'Cause
got
he had the
the raw
man.
talent, and he just couldn't keep his head right. So, just wild. But the AAF, I mean, Brad, we've been talking about for several weeks. The AAF is good football. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's got
been
good
some
stuff.
pretty
Now the rumor is that they've had a closet investor come in, put $25 million on the line this week just to pay payroll. So at
It's not
some
a good
point
sign.
they're either going to go under, they're going to get swallowed by the NFL, or maybe Vince McMahon
Again.
But-
may get involved.
May get
Well, in
involved.
something like that, they're not going to be able to depend on ticket sales.
Right, because it's
gotta be
empty.
advertising,
It's got to be
so,
advertising.
yeah.
And the very first week, I mean, they were on CBS, NFL Network, and TBS all at the same. All the games were on TV. Since that first week, you can't even find one of their games on the TV.
Dude, I think YouTube would be smart to buy it and just
That's a good point.
pay for it. Because like I went on YouTube on my TV last night and I was like, man, I want to try to watch some NCAA basketball. It's pretty hard to unless you know how to get. And so like if I was like, wow, I could go watch some football there, you know you're gonna land off that and go to other pages.
That's
yeah.
absolutely true.
Always, yeah.
And maybe on that same note, maybe Hulu with Hulu Live or what's Slingshot or Sling TV
Sling
or whatever
TV.
it is. Maybe
Become
one of
a
those steps
slinger.
in. Yeah, so
I'm not texting. I'm going to share your live over here.
that's cool.
I got
Awesome.
some work to do,
We
guys.
appreciate
Okay,
it.
just
All
wanted
about
to
Sean's
share
going to
real
work.
quick.
We're all going. All right. So the AAF, Vince McMahon's XFL launches next year. He's already said it's not going to be a whack job like it was last year. It's going to be a legitimate football game. We're not going to have any he hates me or anything like that. It's going to be a legitimate football league this year. He could go ahead and spend, let's say he had to spend $50 million to buy the AAF, even though it's going under. He automatically gets rid of his only competitor in spring football.
Right.
He gets to buy.
Smart.
He buys those contracts with the NFL Network, with CBS, and with CBS. He's already got contracts with ESPN and Fox. He literally then can put his brand of football on the spring that has no other competition as football goes on CBS, NFL Network, ESPN, and Fox Sports all at the same time
It's pretty
with a
pretty good
$50 million investment.
Right.
And if you wanted to, there's not a lot of overlap on the teams. You can bring all 10 of those teams and put them into the XFL also. And you've already got about 25, 30 teams at this time.
Right.
So
The groundwork's already done.
The groundwork's already there. The contracts are there. The teams are there. The structure's there. The players are there. You just swallow it inside the new XFL.
Yeah. Let's just send him a message. Might be
Yeah.
on something there.
It's Brad's idea.
That's a good.
All right, Sean. How's the best way to use your equity in your house right now? The prices are way up. Interest rates are way low. What can we do?
Okay, equity in your homes. First of all, for those of you that don't know, equity is the difference between the amount that you actually owe on the home and what the home is worth. So if you have a $200,000 home and you owe $150 on it, you got $50,000 in equity. I mean, that's a pretty big loaded question. I'll say there's a couple of ways, and some people are going to agree with me, and some people are not. And so I'm going to follow the people that have a lot of money. I'll probably do what they do. And what I see most typically is right now people are, number one, they're unlocking that equity in their property. So they bought a home with you maybe 3 or 4 years ago. They bought it at $200,000. They're looking up now. You're running a CMA report, and you're like, well, you could sell it for $275 right now. They owe $180 on it, so they've got $75 plus $20, $95,000 in equity in it. They need to unlock that equity. And what I mean by it is it's sitting in the home right now and it's not performing. It's a non-performing asset.
Okay.
And the thing is here's the thing as a side note, people need to start looking at real estate as an investment and stop being emotional about it. If they truly want to make money and they want to buy a home and they want to pay off debt, they got to start looking at it as a transaction. And your equity is a non-performing asset, which means you're earning no rate of return on it. You have $95,000 sitting in this home doing nothing. So Sean lists it for you. Then you turn around and you sell it. You come talk to a guy like me. We'll get you pre-approved on the next mortgage loan. And what you might do at that point is either pay off debt, put down a smaller down payment.
Yeah, and with interest rates as low as they are right now, their payment may not even change that much.
Absolutely. No, and so what you're seeing, here's a good example. And there's a video that I don't mind sharing, or you can go to my page. It talks about where the lady came to me and she had a house that she was selling for around $400. She only owed $220 on it, but she was getting a divorce. She was a mother of 3. She was selling the home. She had $180,000, and her initial response was like most, "What are you going to do with that money?" "Well, I'm going to put it all down on the next home." Well, when she came to see me, I said, "Your current mortgage payment is what right now?" And she said, $1,900. "I don't want to pay more than that. That's why I'm putting all this money down." Common sense, right? Well, I looked at it and I said, "But the problem is you're wanting to buy around $400 again." And I said, "Right now, with that down payment, you're still going to be at $2,400, $2,500. So what I explained to her was, instead of putting $180 down, why don't we just put $90 down? Use the other $40 to $45 to pay off the car notes. And so now, instead of paying $2,900 total on her expenses in her current situation with her house and her cars. She's sold her home. She has no debt. She's already closed on her new home. It was last week. And her new payment total on the brand new home, even with a almost $425,000 mortgage loan, is only like $2,600.
So her total cash flow is cheaper.
Yeah.
Like $300-400 a month now. And she has the bigger, better home. She's paid off all her debt. And she wakes up every day and has no debt.
And she's more liquid.
Right.
That's probably the number one way that I see people can unlock their equity right now. But it's the number one mistake I'm seeing too, because people are selling their home, taking all that money and just putting it down on the next house and not looking at how it performs around all their other debt.
Holistic approach.
Makes sense. It's always good to know your options, and that's another reason to talk to a professional, right?
Absolutely.
And I may not have said it in the beginning. Obviously, he's a lender. Legacy
I'm the
Mutual
lender.
Mortgage, the lender.
The lender.
Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we'll give his contact info out shortly. But
Thanks, Brad.
yeah, he knows his stuff really well.
Yeah, and Brad's going to put or Heather's going to put his Sean's contact info on our Century 21 Right Realty Facebook page.
Can I just make the number 2 and share with you? So the other one is people who have now paid off their debt and they just have a house and they're in our age group or they're maybe a little bit older. Retirement's a major issue right now. We're going to have an issue in this country with people not saving money. If Social Security goes away, we're going to be screwed.
Yeah, and you're getting a lot of these people where Gen Xers like us are going to be taking care of our parents.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't any money
Parents,
left over.
we're sisters and brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
And because I'm looking at the retirement statements and it's really, really scary. And so what a lot of people are doing now, and I'm talking to them about how I've handled my finances, is when you sell that real estate, take a lot of that, put a lower down payment down, leverage low interest rates, tax deductible low interest rates, and give that big chunk of money to your financial advisor and stick it in something safe. And that way you're building on something that's going to compound over the next 20 years.
Right.
So you've got $1 million when you get ready to retire. And I found out $1 million ain't going to go that far when we retire. I thought it did.
When you look at those calculators, $1 million is gone really quick.
Especially if you got kids.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. And another thing I've noticed people doing is tapping that equity, buying other investment property. That way the other investment property cash flows. You increase your debt on your initial home, but now you've got assets over here that are cash flowing. And if you look at a time chart, let's say you're 30 years old and you can afford an investment property on a 30-year note, about the time you're going to retire, that thing is going to pay off even if you don't do anything extra the whole amount of time. You've got a cash flowing asset at retirement age that's going to pay for you every month.
Yes.
So that's another way to kind of use that equity in your home, move towards buying an additional asset, and then force you to move into a retirement type of cash flow also.
I had a client come to me a couple of weeks ago, and they were putting I wanted to do the 20% down on an investment property, and I'm going through the loan application. I got to page 3, and I said, "Now, what about your primary residence? What's the value, and then what do you owe on it?" And they said 0. And,
HELOC.
yeah, and it was worth like $700 and something thousand. And I said, but they didn't like the idea of having to put the 20% down on the $300,000 Airbnb.
Right.
And I said, well, why don't we just go ahead and tap into the equity in the current property? So they essentially are buying an Airbnb in downtown Nashville. It's going to passive cash flow $3 or $4 grand a month with no cash out of pocket to even buy the property.
Wow.
And I had a client yesterday buy $1.5 million commercial asset with nothing out of pocket.
Really?
He leveraged other properties that he had in his portfolio, used the equity in those leverages to buy the $1.5 million asset, and that one asset pays for all of his other mortgages by itself.
Yeah, I think that a lot of consumers just don't know how all of this works because, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but they just call a plug-and-play realtor and a plug-and-play loan officer, and they're not getting a complete overall picture. Now, part of it's on the consumer's fault, too. Like, people need to slow down and get with the right people and allow them to do their job. Everybody wants answers so fast. But, like, I bought my land in Nolensville. I put the down payment down on that with a HELOC, and then Farm Credit did the loan on the actual, and I had $0 out of pocket on 37 acres.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's many ways to do it.
Use your assets to your abilities instead of trying to just keep leveraging other things.
I have several clients that started when I got into business 19 years ago that, bought their first house and started following us. I've got several I know right now off the top of my head that have 4, 5, 6 properties, rental or Airbnbs, where they bought their first house, moved into their next, moved into a third. So that's called stack and buy,
Right.
where you just buy and vacate, and you can create rental portfolios that way.
And the advantage to that is you also get owner-occupied rates every time you stack too.
Absolutely.
So you're not buying with investment rates and investment down payments. You're buying with owner-occupant discounts, and then when you wait 3 to 5 years is typically how long you wait. You go ahead and pay that next house, and then that other house goes into your portfolio as a rental with the discounted interest.
Right. And you get that to the point that you've got, I've got 35-year-old people right now that are getting $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in passive cash flow monthly. And I know you guys talk to your clients a lot about passive cash flow. And I think this is what America needs help with right now, because we can't just be going to work every day and working hard and hoping that we pay off some debt.
Right.
We've got to have some other things working. And this is why real estate is and will always be the single best investment, period.
That's right.
The ability to acquire an asset for $250,000 with 3 or 5 or 10% out of pocket.
Yeah, you're not taking any risk.
You can't buy Apple stock for $350,000 for 3% of the price.
That's right.
You need to have all the cash. So this is why you can acquire these assets.
Absolutely. Tell us about the Coffee Drop Project while you're talking.
Yeah, so the Coffee Drop Project is a nonprofit ministry that me and my wife started 3 years ago. And it's on, you can go to the Facebook page, The Coffee Drop Project. And basically what we do is we support nonprofit ministries that serve people that are food insecure. We like to use the term food insecure because that's individuals like me and my mother when I was growing up that are just right above that poverty line, where like my mom just did what she did to pay the bills, but she made too much money to get any assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So the Coffee Drop Project, we buy a tractor trailer truck once a month from Second Harvest Food Bank of Nashville. And then we find a partner agency here around Rutherford County, Williamson, or Davidson County, and we donate that truck to them. They organize the mobile food pantry. They get the people out there. They get the volunteers. And we get to go out there and just hand out a bunch of food and give people 2 to 3 weeks worth of groceries. So right now, currently, it's between 250 and probably 400 families that get groceries monthly. We've done 38 trucks. We've helped about 49,000 families here in Middle Tennessee so far now.
That's awesome.
And we just, we're very, very close to the 1 million pound mark, which will be 1 million. Second Harvest told us it's 1 million pounds of food that we've given away.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And
That's it, giving back.
What a
That's the name
blessing.
of the game.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's a blessing to go out there. And the two parts that we're really passionate about is, number one is, helping out those people that are, one blown tire away from not being or not being able to make their rent payment.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing that. And the other part is when these little ones get to come out with their mommies and daddies and serve on the Saturdays. So it's always on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually from 8 to 12. We've done them at Greenhouse and River of Life, and the schedule is up on the website. But the cool part is you can bring out your teams, your kids, and when those kids see their mommies and daddies handing out the food too, we're leading by example.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this world needs more of right now. So.
I agree completely. I agree completely. All right, Brad, talk about opening day in baseball.
Opening day.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
not much to say. It was quiet. Not many people knew about it unless you're just a real baseball fan. But officially, March 20th, I believe, they had a couple of games in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Ichiro got to go out on a high note. Had an awesome career. But the official opening day was yesterday. They decided to do it on my birthday this year.
That was just for you. They talked to you about that, didn't
That's
they?
right. Oh, yeah. They cleared it with me. They didn't want to steal my thunder, but,
Did you give them any
I don't mind.
donuts?
I offered some.
Okay.
But, but yeah, it was a good day. All 30 teams played, and I tuned in and out. I usually keep it on. It's kind of like a NASCAR race while I'm doing something else. That one time a year that I clean the house, or if I'm on the computer doing something, I'll have it on in the background, and you can rewind any highlights or
Got
catch
Moneyball
history.
and another
Right,
one.
there you go. That's right. Yeah. So it was good though. Baseball's underway. So all these hundreds and millions of dollars of contracts, or hundreds of $1 million contracts, are we'll see if they earn it or not. So,
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to talk about if you're an agent, you're not happy where you are, maybe you are happy where you are, you just want to see how the business is done differently, or if you're somebody who's had this dream about wanting to be a real estate agent their entire lives, I want to talk to you because I think I can take your career to the next level. Being a realtor here at Century 21 Right Realty, you get free coaching just for being an agent here. We do things differently. We have a referral-based system. We bring you in. We teach you how to actually get business that you don't have to chase. You don't have to buy internet leads or anything like that. We teach you how to do a holistic, referral-based real estate system. So I want to talk to you if you are one of those people that have had a lifelong dream of working real estate, or you just don't like where you are. Give me a call, 615-838-0653. 615-838-0653.
Did you see how Realtor.com the other day shut down Nashville? What was it? Was it Davidson County or whatever?
Yeah.
They just pulled the plug. I didn't mean to jump on your thing there, but I was like, guys, if you're not building an equitable business right now in real estate, you're in big trouble. You don't want to build your income to the point that any day somebody could walk in and say, I just took away 40% of your family's income. You know, Sean runs some great principles over here with his team. I've watched it, and that's why we do business together. But you've got to have relationship equity with your clients and your referral partners and the people in the business community out there. So that's why I love what you're doing with this too. You know, so
yeah, it's great. Brad, how was Vegas? Do you have any fun? You do anything?
It was all right. You know, I may go back one day. It was fun.
That was your first time.
First time.
Was it?
Yeah. Did you have fun at that Cabana pool party?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I had a good view. Couldn't get anybody to get in the water, but there's always next year.
I will have some.
We'll have to lead by example on that. Yeah.
That's right. I'm bringing a swimsuit next year.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah, it was fun. We had some fun. We actually learned a couple of little things, so you know, that's always a good thing.
What was your number one takeaway?
Well, we had some good social media coaching, which I'm learning to apply as we speak. But that was the number one thing. That was a lot of stuff. You know, everything comes out of California, Southern California, and they had some really good classes on that and cleared up some things. You know, misconceptions or things that you may waste time, waste money on. You know, just more effective things. So that's the thing that was biggest with me, because social media is not my strongest suit. I like the face-to-face phone calls. So I'm gonna up that game.
But it's the next best thing that we can stay
in
front
of.
Our
folks. That's what's mass awesome communication. That you can't beat that. But as far as getting word out, but as far as working and getting a transaction done, you know, you got to have the face-to-face.
Absolutely. All right, we talked about this earlier about tapping into equity. Prices are still real high. We've started to have a little level off. Not a depression, not a lower in the market, not a slow in the market. We're just adjusting back to an average appreciation rate, not a crash. And now we've got super low rates. I actually saw rates yesterday in the high threes for VA. And
we just went under 4 on FHAs and VAs, and conventionals headed close to there.
So, I mean, now's the perfect time if you want to tap that equity, put it on the market, buy your new house with that low rate. Or if you're a buyer and you've been on the fence, you've been renting a property and you've been going, I need to buy, but I want to wait until the summer or the spring. Right now, there's not a lot of competition out. People haven't got out to that warm weather yet. Go ahead and jump in right now. Get in and get that property purchased before you have tons of competition in June and July. Let's sell your house at 3.8%, 3.9%. Get it done.
Yeah, I ran a scenario for you. And let's say that your property value is around, say, $350,000. Okay. And you had a 1% drop in the rates because we were at 5.23 was the Fannie Mae average in December.
Okay.
And let's say you have a 1% drop in rate, which is what we've almost had here. It looks like your mortgage payment would go down by almost $237 a month, $237.63.
Yeah, just by changing the rate.
Right. I told my wife last night. I said, you know, we thought about buying some more rental properties last year, and I was like, man, I feel like I missed the boat because you know Nashville's market's not going to go backwards. The prices are either going to keep going up, or you know, and then interest rates moved up. So I was like, well, we missed our boat.
Right.
Well, last night I told her, I said, we can't fix the appreciation, but that 1% drop right there, I just got a lot of money back in my pocket from the appreciation I missed out back in interest savings. Right. I said, I think we should look at
that's almost $40,000 in buying power.
Exactly. So if you would have bought a house last summer, it would have had to go up $40,000
to break even.
To have break even with the impact that you're seeing right now on interest rates. So.
And they will go back up. So
the problem is all the people out there that just throw this stuff out there without any explanation to the people. So I think people hear the noise. This is not noise. This is real. This is the time to sell, and this is the time to buy. If you've been waiting for a couple of months, and if you're going to do it in May, June, or July, do it now.
Yeah.
I mean, buy your lease out. It'll even be worth paying things.
And you got a program for that, right?
We have a rent lease buyout program. So You don't have to wait till May, June, July, August, which is rates will probably be higher, different then. We could get you out of the lease now, so you're out of that traffic.
Yeah, and you also don't have to compete with all those Amazon and Icy people whose corporations are coming here, and you add those extra 10,000 people into the buyer's market. You already have a pretty scarce market as it is. You add 10,000 more people. Prices
well,
will go back
California,
up.
we got 3 more buyers this week from California, and we already have 8 in our pipeline that are buying.
I have one I'll be sending to you soon from California.
They're everywhere. They're going to Colorado or Tennessee right now is where they want to go.
There you go. All right, Brad, what's the story you can't believe this week?
Well, there's always a bunch to choose from, but because it always comes out of Florida. So we had a guy that stole a car, and he ends up getting arrested, and he had his pet monkey with him. So he wasn't upset that he was getting arrested. He was upset because they were taking his pet monkey away. And he caused a big fuss, and of course there's videos and everything online you can see about it. But he was actually, somebody called saying there's a guy with a monkey climbing on him driving through traffic. They called the police on him, and they pulled him over. Come to find out the car was stolen, and
oh my gosh,
they took his pet monkey away. I mean,
so is this like an Alan from Hangover type pet monkey situation?
Maybe so, yeah. I don't know if he was trying to copy that or not, but always something.
Awesome. Well, that's it, Sean. Thank you very much for coming in and
Great
sitting
info.
with us today
Thank
on
you for having
Friday.
me.
Good skull session today.
Yeah.
It was great.
Brad, B, Sean Wright, S, Century 21 Wright Realty BS show, and we're out till